or should I share my presentation or video?
Maybe we can try.
Yeah, I send a request about
Yeah,
sharing
I see it now.
screen. Yep.
Let's see if it works.
Here we are, perhaps.
Hello, Daniel. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, the sound works. Perfect. That's very good. I'll just keep it somewhere close here. Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
Well, there you are. Yes, here I am. We
Yes.
started streaming, and I just wanted to check the sound. Sometimes we have some issues here because I'm the technician as well. So I
Of course.
apologize if there are some challenges with that. Sometimes I will just listen to how it sounds on YouTube and if it sounds well. Let's see. We just need to change that. Screen capture. There we are. Yes. Hi everyone, and welcome to the NordSync forum, NordSync online forum number 10. It's been a while. We had quite many projects in January and February, but now we're back, and I'm very happy to have our guest today here. It's Eugene Lee from London and Daniel Lyngstad from Oslo. Hi guys.
Nice to be here.
Nice to see you. And how are you doing?
All good here.
All good
Yeah.
here. I'm very
me
grateful.
too.
Yeah, Eugene, what do you say?
Yeah, all fine, thank you.
All fine. It's really great that you could find time on a weekday to meet. This Saturday, we are having a project in Oslo. Actually, I see you there. But so it's great that we could meet on a weekday instead. Yeah. I will just, in very short 3 words, explain what we're doing here. NordSync stands for Nordic Synchronization, and that sort of describes our goal of bringing the Nordic, and not only Nordic countries, closer together by talking about culture and different musical and not only musical projects. We are particularly interested in interdisciplinary productions. That would say productions that combine music and other types of arts, visual arts, AI arts, media resources, literature, you name it. Yeah, and today we're having these 2 fantastic guests, Daniel Lyngstad, who is a violinist and a player at the Norwegian Opera and Ballet. I believe that's how it sounds in English, right? And Eugene Lee, who is a former engineer at Samsung Electronics and currently working with media arts. But I believe, guys, you can introduce yourself much better yourself. And if anybody who wants to start, anybody has a particular. Shall we maybe start with you, Eugene, if you're willing to? It's very exciting with your topic of AI usage in the media art.
Yes. Let me try to share my screen here. Oh, I've got some problem from here because I have to reopen the Zoom because some update for this.
Yeah, right. Like in that movie, the
Please,
update starts
Yeah,
in the moment.
first, please, and I will
Sure, sure. We can chat a little bit with Daniel. We haven't seen each other for quite a while.
Yes, that's very true.
Just come.
See you. Yep.
I was actually also thinking about sharing screen, but I can't really find. Do you have to give some permits?
Yeah, I do have to give some permit. Yes, that's exactly how it works. I can fix that now with.
Yeah.
I just realized that when I opened the window, it suddenly got much smaller. Yeah, this is the right one. Now I think we are in the good focus, hopefully.
Yes, exactly. Now I could also do this.
Now it looks better. And there is Eugene. How is it working? How is it going?
It works right now. So can I go first or?
Yeah, sure. Of course.
Thank you. And can you see my screen right now?
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you. Yes, this is Eugene. And first of all, thank you for inviting me to such an interesting seminar here. So today I would like to introduce you to a slightly unfamiliar kind of instrument. It's called cutting edge technology. So we often think of AI or code simply as software that makes things more convenient. However, I see them as a material. It is like a sculptor's clay or musician's string. So today, let us explore together how this new material performs our stories and follow this process with its harmony. So my career shaped along two axes. Something electronics, I design AI applications used by 200 millions as an interaction designer. And also now at the UL Creative Computing Institute, I work and study as an AI new media artist. I don't know how to say it, but exploring the artistic possibility of technology. So I also express narrative as an AI filmmaker at international film festivals. So boundary between commercial efficiency and artistic experimentation is where I stand right now. So to briefly outline my career first is as a designer, technology is delivered as the most efficient tool. So the key here lies in how complex AI technology can be seamlessly integrated into users' everyday lives. So within the smartphone interface, AI predicted users' intent, and while in mixed reality like XR environment, digital information is designed to blend naturally with physical space. So in this context, the technology exists purely for users' convenience, and less noticeable it is, more successful design becomes. So, but conversely, as a media artist, I approach technology as a material, while designing is about concealing the presence of technology. Artistic practice is about exposing the fundamental properties. So rather than using technology merely as a conventional tool, my work centers on utilizing a low characteristic to visualizing the social conditions where we live. So lastly, as a filmmaker, I construct visual narrative through AI. So in this case, AI acts as a collaborator that transforms abstract concept of my imagination into unfamiliar yet striking image. So in fact, the axis of my career is fundamental backbone of my work. So we often think of AI as a tool, much like my role as Samsung Electronics. But in this context, it functions as an interface that executes human command. So, however, within new media art, I focus on AI as a material. So, material by its very nature shape and influence humans' behavior. So, ultimately, I see advanced technology become a medium of storytelling, a messenger through which narrative are conveyed to people. And I like to introduce a few of my works and process that approach AI as a material. And here is the first project of mine.
Snap, look at you, Mr. Clickhore, chasing photons like a cheap light score. backlit chump, eyes blind. Can't fight, basking in basic, a mere white light white. Pity, even your shadow's more out of sight. Look at this fool trying to stand out in a sea of faces. Waving arms around like a broken windmill, proper subtle. Thinks they're the main character, but mate, you're the extra. Can't even find a seat, just wandering aimlessly. Pro tip, try blending in, might save you the embarrassment. Oh, look at you, a lone dickhead with a lens, rocking bullshit gear that's strictly pretense. Snap your sad life. Does it cleanse? You ain't Ansel Adams, just some fucktard in a den. Grow some balls, your photos scream has been.
So rather than using AI as a tool that make user comfortable, the core philosophy of this project is to use it as a material that create discomfort. So one that reflects the ugly realities we face like mirror and lays them bare. So this philosophy is embedded in this project. So we're computing devices and equipped with a lucid printer attached to the mouth. Sorry. According to statics, the nature of cyber violence is getting worse, and verbal abuse account for around 50% of all cases. So making overwhelmingly dominant. So what we must pay attention to here is that alongside the explosive growth in the number of internet users, the blade of language hidden behind anonymity has become increasingly refined. So online communities have granted us the freedom to communicate, sure, but at the same time, they have also become space where violence is justified. So the physical absence of seeing one's other faces. So I believe these numbers are not just statics. They suggest that the digital text we encounter every day has effectively transformed into the weapon with real power. So, but yeah, because the word on a screen feels so transparent and weightless. So we continue to press the enter key with bad comments. So while forgetting the harm they can cause. So to understand this issue more deeply, I conducted an interview with real online users. So the first online game users said it is very easy to forget that there is a real person behind the screen, and second person online community users share that the online express can have significant impact on offline life. So from this, I arrived at the important insight. While digital language is immaterial, so the pain it leaves behind entirely physical. So to bridge this gap, I developed three strategies like this. So first is shifting perspective. So bringing the viewpoint from with the internet to that a real person, real human being. So second one is overcoming the temporary of language, so giving fleeting comment a sense of physical continuity through printed matter. And third one is confronting the face, so limiting the veil of anonymity and forcing the violence to be encountered on an actual human face. So the ultimate mission of this project is to reconcile the importance of digital language by presenting hate speech via a tangible real-world perspective. So we usually observe hate from behind the safe barrier of a mirror, but I wanted to break this barrier. So to transform abstract criticism into a heavy roll of paper falling onto on body, and to make people confront both weird and bad words that is spoken on AI language model while looking directly into another person's eyes. So through this process, the purpose of this device is for the audience to physically realize that a single line of data casually thrown out can become a massive dirty dummy of waste text for someone else. So how does this device actually work? It does not simply output pre-written text. Instead, it creates a hate-generated text of content for line comment.
So it generates the hate comment itself.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I made some kind of language model from for this project. So from a hardware perspective, the system consists of the tiny computer on the head, so connected to camera and printer. The process unfolds as follows. So when a participant and model press the button, the camera captures an image, and AI then
It
extracts the
captures
data
enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like someone you meet on the street.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, here's the point. So, based on the exact extracted data, the AI is prompted using all data features from this image, imitate the kind of hateful comment currently commenting in online. So, in just 10 seconds, an ordinary person becomes target of hate. So, and the result is printed out stream of the seed from the mouth. So, in doing so, the project technically demonstrates how this inhumane process is something we repeated every day, rapidly and almost unconsciously within our smartphone. So, finally, I took this device out into the street of Seoul. So this is not a exhibition, so but it kind of waste excretion performance like this. So as you know, the Korea culture of bad comments surrounding the Korea, well, some kind of K-pop culture. So project closely reflect this phenomenon too. So it is also significant social issue in Korea. So as people watch the endless stream, the listed pouring out the model's mouth, they were taken back and bleeding hate for expressing printed on the paper, and I hope so they felt discomfort. And here is the second project.
Yeah, just slow down. So much information, so many questions. It sounds great. This is the project that really caught my eye when I was just strolling on Instagram. Thanks to that, we met, and I'm very happy that you agreed to come. That's really fun. It's very catchy, and it's so much like an essence, I feel like, of today. Like I don't know any person nowadays who doesn't use AI in work. I don't know, cooking, everyday's routine life, analysis of relationships. That's the newest, weirdest part. Uh, when people start asking ChatGPT about what this means instead of just using their social competencies to analyze an answer or to analyze a friend's behavior, that's really, I find like this is really becoming our new reality when we for some reason dedicate our feelings and emotions to be analyzed by AI, which is disturbing, yet somehow it works out, and I think most of people who use ChatGPT are genuinely very happy about its input. So, but can you say what was your motivation for that project? How did it come up in this installment that you are making a human looking more like a robot, and it kind of throws up with papers of hate?
Oh, that's a great question. I usually
It doesn't have to be, a philosophical answer. It can be very practical. Just tell us how it was. How was the process?
Oh, I was looking around with the critical eye, so I just want to find some new methods from our daily life. So yeah, that is my motivation. So I made some stories from that. So I can make some message from any materials like AI. So I hope to convey my message via technology things because, as you know, the AI is kind of everywhere now. So what I found interesting is that AI is no longer just a tool for productivity, but something that starts shaping how we think, feel, and even relate it to each other. So that is my some kind of catching eyes, and that is actually why I'm interested in this kind of material right now. So not just what it can do, but what it does to us. So it's quite different, but I just want to focus to that in our daily life.
Yeah, talking about like eyes and how we see things, I was curious to ask you, Eugene, because you run very quickly through that you were studying, you were working at Samsung Electronics. Does it mean that you have like a technical engineering background? What's your major? I mean, now you're obviously studying arts, but did you come from
Yeah.
the arts, or you combined, or what is your background there?
Actually, my background is visual design, so it is not related to engineering things. So so it is quite different from that. But I usually did some code things in my company. So yeah, that is what I do it nowadays. So yeah, and I just figured out I need to learn about some coding and engineering to make more interesting, not just for public, not just for convenience for all life, and instead of the AI copying every
Yeah, it's sort of.
kind of the
I'm
text
not in the
or
industry, but if it's the same as in musical industry, it's like
yeah, right,
AI
right.
can do many things better than we do, and so instead of serving a functional role, maybe it's a good time to take a step back and look at the bigger picture and other roles we can have. I totally get that. But just tell me a little bit so that we kind of more on the same wave with you. When you're studying to become a visual designer, is it some kind of what kind of studying is that? Are you studying code, you said, but also are you learning to draw or to do sculptures? What
Yeah.
did you do? Or it's
Actually,
more like code.
yeah, but my major was visual interaction designer, so I worked as a UX designer. So I had to communicate with the developer in my company. So I had to learn some code and engineering knowledge for some communicate. So
Yeah, I get, I
yeah,
get, I get. So it's really like modern media kind of visual designer. It's not like you're used to, first draw the things and then scan them and then put them there. It's as far from
yeah.
animation as possible, or that also.
Oh, pardon. I can get
Is
your.
that is that as- is that was that drawing things and scanning them then? Like, was it a part of it, or it's already this different times now when to become an visual engineer you need to
Yeah,
rather
yeah.
code? I'm just curious about
Okay.
because I'm being a musician. For us, visual designer,
Yeah.
we were curious. Are
Yeah.
you guys those guys who are sitting, with a
Yeah.
painting Malbert, or you? It's actually nowadays already all in the digital form. That's what I'm a little bit curious because it kind of.
Yeah, right.
Mm,
That is very important point of this area,
yeah.
this kind of territory. Yeah, exactly. So it's less about the making static visual or like posters or something like this. Not a graphic design. So
Hmm.
it is more about the designing systems and
Yeah.
the interactions and some experiences. So
Yeah.
yeah, so instead of just creating an image, I'm interested and I worked in how things behave, how they respond, and how they experience people and
Yeah.
communicating with people and users. And yeah, that is what I done.
You see, this is exactly what I find so exciting about the work you do, because I've seen a lot of people evolving into working with AI from the positions, like when they've been like performing artists, like For example, what we do with Daniel, when we are standing on stage, we are used to create shapes. But your kind of art comes from like the utilitarian side. You are used to work with utility in shapes and in design, and then there you manage to see, thanks to AI and using AI as a tool, this kind of opportunity to see it as an art in itself. And that I find very exciting and very new, because this is not something you could have imagined in like 90s, right? Even in 2000s. That was totally unimaginable, just because the industry didn't exist, the AI didn't exist in this shape. So this is why I wanted to hear a little bit like where and how did you work? Did you start working with AI? From what perspective? And it's been the tool for you, and now as you started your conversation, it became a material, and that is a very exciting and very unusual so far transition, in my opinion.
It actually, oh yeah, thank you. Great, very good question, and thank you for like my career path. And actually, it started from the curiosity rather than technical background, because my background is video design. So I just in the interaction design in my company. So when I was working as a designer, I become interested in how AI could change not just interface, but the perception itself. So I started experimenting first with simple tools, but then moving into creative coding and generative system and algorithm and some kind of the technical thing after that. So
yeah,
all right. Yeah.
And it seemed like your art is also very like anchored in the, because it kind of has a critical view of the society, right? Because this project obviously criticizes the reality where we are so much anonymized in the online space, that we become kind of less sensible and arrogant and rude very often. Is that so? Can you comment on that? Is that a criticism of the reality of the nowadays?
That is an interesting question, but let me think. Yes, but I think that's true. My work has a critical perspective, and obviously, I don't want to say yes, but yes, but I try to not to judge too directly. I'm more interested in creating situations where people can recognize their own behavior like this. So instead, instead of saying that's wrong, AI is a devil. So I try to reflect it back so people can feel it themselves. So I don't want to put some strong message or intents in my project. So yeah, slightly yes, but I don't know how to say to answer this question. And a very good question. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, if it's also exciting because obviously I see it a little bit as a caricature, like a little bit hyperbolized, extended version of the reality. But it might be very well that it's actually just the reflection of the reality. That's the essence of my question. If you actually perceived the same scale as in your project, what we're experiencing nowadays, or is it really a little bit hyperbolized and you wanted people to be provoked by how far and how close at the same time is that perspective to our nowadays life? Yeah, but maybe we go to next one. I'm sorry I interrupted you. It's just I find it's you said so many smart words there. I just needed a little bit of easy explanation for myself so that I kind of catch it all. And it's just always interesting to be able to ask those couple of questions. Yes, please continue.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Let's move on to the next project. Get the coin of sound the interaction project.
Yeah. Now check if it works. We don't have a sound here, I think, if there is a sound.
Oh, let me check the sound in here. I can hear the sounds in here right now. So
Are you using Mac or Windows? That's
I'm using Mac right now.
sometimes you need to allow it to capture your. Yeah, actually, if you don't have any specific utility, we won't be able to, I think. Though on the last video, we did hear the sound.
Oh yeah, I don't know what is different. So I put the same way. So actually it is not essential. So let's introduce my the second project.
But Eugene,
this
just
work.
try it again. Try it again. Maybe it will work.
Oh yeah, sure.
Maybe
Yeah.
because it worked last time. Maybe there is a. There is some little sound coming, but not much for some reason.
I think that this video sound is quite small. I think.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it sounds a bit. But not much. But we kind of get the idea that the interface reacts on the falling water, or.
Oh yeah, right. So let me introduce this text first. So this work is Digital Garden. It is an experiment that explored the sense of life and care through technology. At the core of this project is like digital conversion. So just as a physically act of the pressing piano key is translated to digital media keyboard data. So our contemporary lives are also continuously converged through the vast digital fields of social media and network systems. And also, I draw a post-humanistic perspective in here. So I propose viewing the smartphone, something we hold in every day, as a kind of organism. So because now we are living there via social network, messenger, email, and so on. So through this experiment, I am to highlight the fluidity of technology. So technology is not a fixed, rigid object, but flexible material. So one that can glow and resonate depending on the kind of energy we choose to input. So yeah, here is the second project, and let's move on to last project. I hope to the internet we see every day. Are we truly seeing the world as it is? With a single click, the web page you are putting is decomposed into thousands of the word data. Algorithms weave words together to visualize your own legit bubble. Repetition turned into conviction, and bias becomes an invisible word that traps your perspective. A transparent prison built by your data when they see yourself with bubbles. Yeah, now I would like to, well, it's my last work. So this is a web bubble, and we often describe the internet as an ocean of information, but in reality, it's confined within our own filter bubble. Algorithm selectively present information based on what we have previously clicked on, what we are likely to prefer. So as a result, we unknowingly become trapped in an echo chamber. So where we are repeatedly exposed only to our own thoughts and beliefs. So in this project, I visualize this invisible algorithm barrier as a 3D virtual 3D network. So using a Chromate extension and web data scraping, the system collects in real time the news, social media posts, and YouTube recommendations that users encounter daily. So ultimately, while technology as a material of offers convenience, it can push us into a state of isolation. So now I would like to conclude my presentation. So all the work I have shown today point toward a single idea. So to see technology not merely as a tool that makes our bodies more comfortable. But as a material that shape our behaviors and our society. So as an artist, my mission is to use this material as a mirror to honestly reflect the dark aspect of our society and to light up the path forward. And if technology has the power to shape us in more strong ways, I believe it also has the potential to shape us into being human beings who are more reflective and more deeply connected. So thank you for staying with my thoughts today, and I'm always open to new technologies and focus on telling new stories. And if you have any question or would like to collaborate, please feel free to reach out via the channels below. So thank you again. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we will attach it. Thank you, Eugene. We will attach it to the stream, of course, and on our website and everywhere. I just wanted you. It's so exciting. The last one, the last project you just talked about, your newest, right? The one with. It's so basically, you wrote the code which kind of makes a visualization of everyone's echo chamber, like informational one we're living in. Does it analyze like logs on your I don't know, YouTube history, for example, or where do you get the data? What does it analyze?
Yeah, actually, they scraping the currently website right now. So I just want to talk this example. So it is kind of North Korea articles, and it is about some statement toward U.S. about this kind of
something,
some
yeah,
kind of issues. Yeah, right. So, but the point is, they are focused nuclear word in there. So, but actually, it is not strong. It is not strong related to that kind of word in this agenda. So it is kind of simple fills the bubble in here. So, and when you change the page to your private page, like YouTube main page or your Instagram or your some kind of email, so you can check another word in there. So and also you can check the what is my most biased word is. So this extension scrapping the word what you've seen right now. So it's scraping just in that page. So but
I see. It would have been it would have been even more exciting if you would be analyzing and making like a profile portrait of person's bubble.
Yeah, right. So,
that would be so provocative. I would like to see what my bubble looked like, because I think we are all more or less like stuck in some kind of bubble. So it will be probably spherical. But yeah, right. I believe that everyone has a little bit weird one or two interests which are sticking out. Yeah, and that would be so interesting to see a visualization of that, just to see how far your interests sometimes stick out of your bubble.
Yeah, right.
Especially all those weird people, like I don't know, some media people. If you could get access to their logs, that would be exciting to see, because that would actually kind of show much more of the person's appearance than the picture in a way, because it kind of almost reflects the soul. that would be
right.
Exciting.
Yeah, that is very good point of my project, because almost of the website, the big companies' websites are doing personalizing things in nowadays. So it is based on the algorithm. So they are make some bias and filter bubbles and some echo chamber, and finally it is make a confirmation bias. So that is a point. That's a point of my project. So yeah, thank you.
Very fascinating. Yeah. I have a friend, and he was a guest here earlier. He's a violinist from Hanoi, Vietnam. So he's co-working with a company also working in visual arts in Hanoi called Fustic Studio. and they do a visualization of a voice of a person, and it looks super cool. It's very like artistically nicely done visualizations, and it's kind of a imprint visualized of a voice properties. But you do kind of an imprint of a soul. That's even cooler. You should continue with that. I think it's a super exciting idea.
Oh yeah, and also it is very interesting point of you describe this as a soul. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I feel like more and more us communicating with ChatGPT becomes like I mean, people are different, but I've heard multiple times that friends are asking advice in like personal stuff there. Like, he said this, what should I do, or how should I react? People do that all the time. ChatGPT becomes, I think, soon all those psychoanalysts, analysts, and all the shrinks, you know, they will lose job sooner than musicians and engineers, I think. Kind of. Anyways, it's just a fantastic idea, and great that you do it, and I hope you will keep us updated on the future ones. That's really fun. Daniel, do you have any questions?
No, it's very interesting to listen to. So thanks a lot. Well, the first thing I thought about was, of course, as well, call it physical artists, as me and Stefan here, with how you treat sort of rights of when working with AI. It's a much debated part of our field. When we create music or create texts, and it's used also to train AI models, and it's very much up to debate whether this is a good way, if it's even legal. I don't know if it's something you've reflected on when working with AI, I don't know the correct English term for this, but the rights of the performer or the creator of the physical work. I don't know if it's anything you can comment on.
Oh yeah, I understand you, and I really want to talk about this process. So, yeah, I think it is very important and complex issues, and personally, I see if there's two point of view. So personally, I see AI as something built on collaborative data. So questions of authorship and ownership become very blurred. So it quite be dangerous. So that is why what I use this code in this project. I use just convey what the prompt is using the feature of from this image imitate the kind of hatred comments currently making in online. So it quite be dangerous, but I don't use as a this one I made it I just want to show it is mine. So I just want to make it as a material. So rather than trying to give a fixed center, I'm more interested in to making more some kind of visible things in my work. So yeah, that is very hard question and tough question for me. But and also I just want to criticize that point because and also I made music with kind of code, not an AI. It is not generated, so it is kind of MIDI. But almost people think, oh, you are generated by AI, and you steal someone's authorship, someone's songs. You copied something. So I have to. This field have to make a line or guides to do with AI. So it is very complex issues. So I don't want to do with everything in AI. So that is so complex issues.
It's a general, very general question for the whole field.
Yes, but I was kind of fascinated that you actually first guest here, and we talk a lot about AI, believe me. But you're the first one who addressed it as a material, not as a tool. So what is the tool in that scheme then? If AI is material, then what is the tool? Is it us?
Yeah, that is very interesting question. And also, tool is as tool is tool. It is for the human. It is for humans' enhancement life or some good things for our life. So it is. That is definitely ChatGPT. So if so, the point is the tool are just for humans' convenience, and they generate tests for some convenience or something good, something new, something mimic, something coffee, something something to human. But the but in my philosophy, in my artist view, the material is what produce unexpected outcomes for me. But the tool is what frames and direct how the material is used. So it is quite different with the tool and material and the
Does
simply.
Does it have something to do with predictability? That when you're applying something as a tool, then you have 100% predictions of what will come out. While when you're talking about material, does it mean that you have less prediction, less confidence in what you will get as an outcome? Is that a little bit somehow anchored in that kind of problematic? That with the modern AI, sometimes you as an artist don't really have 100% understanding of what will come out. Isn't that a new thing a little bit? Or is that I misunderstood you perhaps, or?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a really important
That's
point.
that direction. Yeah, I also think about lately a lot because in the previous times when we were using like computative based technologies which are based on like code and something you can simply calculate, you would always know the outcome of what you are asking it to do. But nowadays with with ChatGPT more, but with all those creative engines, maybe not the models working with words and language systems, but I don't know, those working with images, for example. It's very fascinating what can come out. And I'm not a scientist, not an engineer. I don't know how much of that is actually computed. It looks like a pure magic to me. Is it?
Yeah, right. As a tool, right? That is very important point. Yeah, that is very interesting point. And a lot of United States companies focus AI as a tool. So yeah, that's a point. That is what they made music.
Well, but I have to say the progress in the music AI is scary. Last couple of months.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it does everything. It does arrangements well, right, Daniel? Are you following? Are you already subscribed to the AI music playlist on Spotify?
I'll admit, no.
No. Respectfully, no.
No, I mean, of course I use AI as well as everybody else, but I think it's quite limited in my case. Very much using it only as a tool, as you mentioned, to help with some text stuff and yeah.
Yeah, but I was more thinking that we as consumers use it more and more, and we might even not know about it. I think very many pop stars already using it or will be using more in the future, just because the abilities it gives you, like arranging stuff, is phenomenal. And I don't know if it's a popular thing in Norway, but I get a lot of this kind of old songs being translated from different languages, refurbished with different style or orchestration, ornamentation. It sounds very fresh. So yeah, it soon will be impossible to say that it lacks creativity, because it's quite good. And it wasn't the case when we started with the series of these workshops. I remember the first one almost 2 years ago. We also were talking about AI, and then all the musician guests that were at the place, they were like very solid and serious. Like, no, we are not in danger. This is never gonna happen. Have you seen how it draws? You know. And now we are one leg there. Yeah, exciting.
I think it's more. Of course we are, but I think it's more. I think we are more in a live setting. I think that's sort of how we can survive as musicians today. I think it's giving this live experience of human to human interaction. So of course, I think AI will. Recordings will probably not be very interesting in the future. At least I don't find it very, very interesting at the moment, because AI can probably do quite a lot of it. Technology can do it for us, but creating this interaction between humans with music, I think that's what we have to provide as musicians today.
Yeah, that slowly leads us to the next guest, to Daniel. Thank you so much, Eugene, for your presentation. Fantastically prepared. I love guests who are like uber prepared. It's so much easier to ask questions and everything. It's really brilliant. I really am enjoying a lot of everything you do there. Please keep us updated on it, as said, and please stay with us while we talk with Daniel. And as I told you before, I hope we can do something in the future. I would be really excited to do some AI-based artist project with quartet on stage, and you doing your magic with your media tools. That would be an exciting and very up to date. And maybe, as Daniel said, this kind of usage of AI tools will actually not steal our job, but on the opposite, since it's all about human communication, right? We will just enhance it, probably, with some other type of material on stage, such as AI. Thank you so much, Eugene, and welcome, Daniel.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Sorry, I think I have to turn off the sharing screen right now. So
I already did it, I think.
I think it's stopped already.
Yeah, I took it off, Eugene, just so that we could see you better.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
No worries. So I'll introduce myself and some of my projects. Then I guess thanks for your talk, Eugene. It was great to listen to. And this is of course slightly different. I'm probably also in the category with a not very prepared guest, because I don't have a nice presentation like you had. So sorry about this, Stefan. But I'll give you some examples later. So I'm also a classically trained violinist, based here in Oslo, like you said. I'm born into a musical family. Both my parents were also musicians, so I guess classical music has always been a part of my identity in a way. And specifically, since I started studying, at least, I've had a very strong interest in making classical music speak today, making our music, our form of art, communicate to the audience. Of course, it's a challenge in the entire field, since we are performing a lot of music from 200-300 years ago. It can be a challenge, and in particular, I feel that we often, well, as musicians and concert organizers as well, we tend to forget that people actually come for an experience, a full experience, and we compete not only with the more popular artists or popular musical genres, but even with cinemas or theaters. Or even restaurants, or perhaps the worst competitor as well, so far. exactly. Facebook, Netflix.
You name it, yeah.
So it's really tough competition, and I've thought a lot about how to make classical music communicate today and to a broader audience, and giving this a greater sense of value and purpose to what we do as classical musicians. And this has led me to a very diverse life as a musician, doing various projects, and I'll talk to you a bit about a few of them. I can start with during my master studies, which I did in Copenhagen. I wrote a thesis on, we call it the master thesis, but in classical music, what is a master thesis? It's not like in the other arts. But I wrote about rhetoric in classical music, simply how to make the music speak. And this was knowledge which was very common back in the days when the composers wrote the music that we perform today. But it's things that we don't really learn about today when we perform music. So, but it all comes back to this core essence of how do we make the music communicate. This has led me to perform quite a lot as a baroque violinist as well, in addition to working in the opera, like you mentioned earlier. And it's really so much knowledge here in this rhetoric, which has been simply hidden from us classical musicians today, because we don't learn this rhetorical language of music. And it was compulsory for any composer at that time. And in order to perform this music today, I firmly believe that we should know what they knew, the composers.
Maybe give us an example, Daniel, of
exactly
something from your work. What rhetoric?
Exactly. A very, very typical example is how to emphasize. I mean, this is typical in rhetoric. You know which word you emphasize in a sentence. It makes a huge difference. And this is knowledge that the composers had. And we have the same knowledge in music. If we study rhetoric, we know which notes to emphasize. And if we emphasize the wrong notes, it really doesn't flow in the music. It can stop up, and the music does simply not communicate. But this also leads me on to, I guess, the reason you've invited me here also with the other project, because even in this classical rhetoric of the ancient Greek and Roman, they spoke about not only what you say and how you say it, but also such things that, I mean, even what you're wearing or what room you are in when you're trying to communicate your message. And this is something which is highly underestimated, I think, in the classical music field today. We tend to accept the status quo of what a concert is supposed to be, what a concert hall is supposed to look like, I found it quite liberating. I was attending a course a few years ago, and there was this young student, and we were talking about the future of classical music, and he simply said, he played the violin. I find so many classical concerts boring. And it was so liberating to hear a classical violinist say this. And to be honest, to some extent, I agree. No, I want to know. But to some extent, I agree. Quite a lot of it can be boring. So it's not very strange that we don't attract new audiences. Maybe we manage to get them to the concert hall once, but then they don't come back. And okay, then the fault's on us.
Yeah.
So we have to do something different. One thing I've done then, but I'll come back to the festival, which I'll show you some clips from. But I've also, together with a colleague, Erik Danchu, who lives in Copenhagen, who I met when I studied there, we also created a a website and then an app for classical music called Live Klassisk, which is it sort of started with this idea that that the classical music industry is quite old-fashioned and very undigital. Many websites seem to be from the 90s, and I guess they actually are as well. So trying to make a sort of an entrance gate to classical music online for people who are curious about classical music. Quite simply, it's a concert calendar. I can share a bit with you here if I manage to find the right there. This one.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is basically a concert calendar, which we have. I can do the English version here.
Oh, great.
Trying to present all classical concerts in Norway and Denmark, with a hopefully more modern design, and making it easy to access classical music.
Yeah.
So this is one of our projects. I mean, you couldn't even see ensembles and venues with managed this to load here. No, it was on its way.
Well, it's kind of a lot of work just to collect all the information in one place.
Oh yes, it is. We started this project back in 2020, and it's been a great project. Trying to make I think an entrance gate into classical music is.
There is so much happening in Harstad. Who would be the thing?
Of course. So I think I'll stop the sharing again there, and come back to you. So this was one of the project. Sort of making it a hub for classical music, and it also relates to this fact of making classical music actually speak today. Because if the first thing you meet is some website, you simply don't understand anything, and you don't know where to look if you're interested in finding a concert. This is simply an entrance.
Just to make our Eugene friend and also all other non-classical musicians, viewers of the channel, a little bit more alert, and also to make the video a little bit more trendy. What's your take on the latest Timothée Chalamet's outburst on classical music? Did you also feel personally offended by the statement?
Not at all, but I felt
my man.
Very happy on behalf of the team, because the reactions from everyone else was amazing. It's so funny how the internet works.
Yeah.
One famous guy says one thing, and at least probably it's still within our web bubble, like Eugene spoke about. But in at least my web bubble was filled with famous people, artists, and institutions, all making great tributes to the art form of classical music, opera and ballet. So I think that was
I felt very uncomfortable.
A fascinating internet thing,
because they were so scandalized, like on behalf of all musicians, and I thought, well, it is sort of maybe less popular. Same as, I don't know, book reading is less popular nowadays. And what are we supposed to make? I don't know. What's your take on it? Do you think it's less popular to go to theater and opera?
I don't know. I think it's actually even growing a bit again. But I think we see that with young people now, that it's actually gaining interest in a way. But it's like we spoke about earlier. I think it's a matter of creating these live experiences, and real experiences, and I'd say it's very much alive. Yeah.
Yes. Sorry for that interruption.
No.
Just
great.
Take it up wherever you stopped.
Yeah. So I think we should move on to my next project. Like I said, also I work in the opera, and that's also I can admit I was not a big fan of opera music before I started working there. But it's really been a pleasure to get to know this repertoire. And if we can talk about music, speaking to people, communicating to people, then it really does in the opera. I think it's also a part of like you're interested in the NordSync project. Connecting art forms, which is very much the case in the opera and ballet.
Yeah.
You get the story, you get spectacular setting, and you have wonderful music, which is an integral part of the experience. So this has really grown on me and really appealed to my my music interest even. So that's really been a privilege. But I think we should also move on to what you originally contacted me about, which is the festival I run, which is called Interpuls. It's a festival I run together with my ensemble, located here in Oslo. We started back in 2020, and we've had 6 festivals now. We managed to sneak in a festival just before the pandemic broke out, so we have done 6 festivals now. It's a festival focused on music by minimalist composers like Philip Glass, Steve Reich, and these kind of composers, but also other. We like to call it audience-friendly contemporary music. Something which is can make an effect on a broader audience. But just as importantly as the music we play is that we wanted to create a space to experience classical music, which really appeals to a broader audience. So we wanted to create special concert experiences, not just your regular classical concert. Maybe I should show a video first. I'll do that. If we share screen again. Yep. Let me know if you have the sound, or if you don't have. Let me know if you don't have the sound.
We don't have the sound. I don't think we get any sound, to be honest.
No, you don't get it?
But
no
maybe our audience does, though. No, I don't think so, actually. No, we didn't catch it, unfortunately.
Did you get the video, though?
Yeah, video is here, of course. Yeah, but
video, but no
I
sound.
think maybe in the worst case scenario, I can just attach it to the stream.
Yeah,
later.
Maybe do that. Or even what if I choose? Okay, whatever. You can still see the video and get a sense of it. And you can attach it as well.
Yeah, I will.
So basically, this is from our festival a few years ago, where we connect different art forms. You see some of the visual lighting here, and you would hear the lovely music in the background, but you don't now. So this is what we're trying to create.
It's a lot of work with like space you have, right? Because the space is almost as important as, I mean, we don't hear the sound, but I've seen that video before, so I know what I'm talking about.
Very much. So we use some tools, if you like, or techniques to create these special experiences. We always combine with, not always, but we like to combine several art forms. The last few years, we've had these video projections on filling the whole church. Video art projected there. We've had 2 last years. We've had a wonderful visual artist from Germany, Philipp Geist, who's created this for us. So this is one thing, but we've also collaborated with dance, like you saw, with spoken word poetry or slam poetry. to mention some fun things. We always serve. I mean, the venue is important. It's a grand church, like you said, but it's still possible to create an intimate atmosphere. And it's a church, but it also has a bar. So
is it the Jakob?
Jakob Kirke in Oslo, for those who are local. So we create sort of an environment where it's. We try to avoid this kind of cinema feeling where everyone sits next to each other and you sit stuck in your chair for the entire evening. So we try to create a social format. And I guess our most radical, which really should not be radical, but the thing we've done is we've divided the evening into many short concerts. So in a typical evening, we have 6 concerts, each lasting 20 minutes. And then we have a break in between, which works really well in this venue because suddenly it becomes a social experience. You can go there, you can have a glass of whatever with your friends. We have popcorn, also not so common on classical music scene. And I think it's also very much adapted to today's audience and today's attention span.
Yeah.
So,
That's a good point.
Contrary to what I do in the opera, which I love,
3 hours,
performing the Wagner operas lasting for 4 hours each. This is something different, and trying to reach today's audience in a way which is more on their home ground, if you can say it, put it this way. But we don't only do this, we've also done several different concert formats. For instance, and maybe I should show you some photos instead, because since we didn't have sound here.
Sure.
Yes. Should be this one, yeah. So here we are. These are photos from this year's festival. The visual arts, which we found really stunning, as you can see here. But we also collaborated with some people who organize Morning Beat, they're called, and it's non-alcoholic, drug-free morning rave.
Wow.
Which is also not very classical music like. And of course they do their thing with techno, and they dance. It's a really amazing experience. From 7 o'clock in the morning, 250 people fill the church and have a full rave party with no drugs, no alcohol, just the music and the environment, which was really a special experience to arrive there in the morning and see a full church dancing and partying. And also they end their dance set with a yoga session. So this is where the collaboration really started for us. But also, of course, the techno can relate to minimalist music, so there's also a link there. But we see here some photos from the yoga session, which then followed directly after the rave dance session, where we perform classical music, or specifically this minimalist music, to the yoga session. And it's really a unique experience for both the people doing the yoga and also for us musicians. I didn't play this year, I played last year in this particular concert, but to look out in a full church with the audience and all you see is 200 feet sticking up in the air. It's really special to perform in this way. And here we also come to a different concert format, which we've done the last few years, called Orchestra in Surround. So we've 2 years now, we've invited the Norwegian Radio Orchestra and they perform music basically sitting in a circle with the conductor in the middle. And as you can see from the photo, at least a lot of the audience was placed on the floor in between the musicians, and you got the full surround experience, live experience, and it was really almost touching to see 80-year-old people actually sitting on the floor and enjoying it. We were quite nervous if people would actually sit down on the carpets here, but quite a lot actually sat down in the middle and really had a special experience. And this comes back to the point of creating special experiences. Here's some more pictures of the visuals.
Really beautiful visuals. Who was the artist you say who you collaborate with?
Yeah, it's a German artist. He's called Philipp Geist.
Philipp Geist.
He works all around the world. He's put light on the Christ statue of Rio de Janeiro. I mean, he works in big venues across the world.
Does he kind of adapt his art to the music you perform, or it's more like plays?
Yes, he does. Both to the plays and to the music. So we send him our set list with the music, and he creates it live as well. He sets up. I don't know if we can see this here. Maybe in some of the photos here. Perhaps not. But he sets up cameras as well. So he also films the artists performing, and this is also turns into a part of the art on the walls of the visuals. So it's really stunning to be a part of, and has really lifted the project for us as well.
Can I ask you why minimalist music?
Yes, well, I mean, this really started with our string quartet. Now we call it the Interpuls ensemble. Formerly, we were known as Quartetto Testosterone.
Ah, that's that one, guys.
This always makes people laugh with the name. So now we call it Interpuls ensemble and relate it only to the festival. But we during our study days, you remember, and then we played.
The old
played
name
a lot
was
of
better.
This. It's true. The name was better. Then we performed a lot of this music. And at the same time, there wasn't really a scene for this music. When we performed it back in 15 years ago when we were studying, it's that long ago. Then we were, I think we were quite some of the first in Norway to play this music. It didn't seem like people really wanted to touch it. It was a bit too kitsch, too cliche music in the classical music field. But now we see that, I mean, even the Oslo Philharmonic or the big institutions are also playing this music. So the interest has also grown, I think. But there was no specific scene for this, so we wanted to create a festival for this kind of music.
Yeah,
and we also see that the audience likes it. It has a bigger audience.
That's what I wanted to bring up, because I think minimalist music for people outside of like classical music field interests, let's say, like average people, minimalist music is not always most appealing for them. Sometimes I feel, in my experience, they clutch much easier with the music such as Brahms and or maybe like baroque, just because it's more admissible, or it's easier to get into it. But you chose kind of to go from the hardcore end of it.
Yeah, but there are two. And minimalist music can also be much. It can be the really hardcore minimalist. We had also one concert with music by Morten Feldman, which is really hardcore. It's the best way to put it. The piece lasted 4.5 hours. No, 5 hours. Yeah, at least, and it's very silent, almost nothing happening for 4.5 hours. We had this piece performed up in the tower of the church during the festival, so people could come and go and listen to this piece as well. So this is the really hardcore version of the minimalist music, but at the same time you also have the Steve Reich music, which is perhaps more groovy, almost leading into this kind of techno feeling, which led us to this Morning Beat collaboration. At the same time, you have the Philip Glass music, which is very film music-like. I mean, he's also written music to many films, so it's music that people recognize. It's very familiar, and I think also that this repetitiveness is something which also appeals to people. If you see pop music today, I mean, how many repetitions are there not in pop music? It's the same thing over and over again. So it's quite a lot the same with the minimalist music, for instance, in Philip Glass, or even Arvo Pärt music, which is very contemplative, and this yoga meditative area works very, very well with this music as well. So it's also music which is easy to combine with other art forms, and like your project here is about with the NordSync. It's music which really suits combining art forms as well.
Yeah. No, I was just really feeling necessity to say how impressive it is that you managed to, because you state very clearly that your kind of goal is to outreach to people, reach new groups, bring them into these unusual settings, and you managed to do that with the music, which in my experience is not the easiest to start with, and that's pretty admirable, and I'm very impressed, and it's super cool. One of my biggest traumas in the years of study, or not trauma, I'm traumatizing a little bit, but still, we had this one field trip to a little Norwegian town called Hemavan. No, not Hemavan, Hammerfest, sorry. Which was like an annual trip for the students of the conservatory in Oslo. And the idea was that we were coming there and making concerts on spot. I don't know if you have participated in that, Daniel.
No, but my quartet colleagues have, so I'm familiar with the
exactly. And the fun part of that is that we are then living in the families in the town, and it's an ordinary small town, and most of the people there are working in the industries, like gas industry mostly. So they're not really particularly into minimalist music. And somehow minimalist music was a very big part of the repertoire on the concerts there. And I remember staying overnight in that very cute family, and the host in the evening speaks to me, and we kind of have this, trusty conversation. And he's like, "But why do people do that? That doesn't even sound smart." Because he was just on one of those super uber minimalist concerts. And it was tricky for me to find what to answer him to that, because he's right in a way. It is hard to percept without ages and years of study which we spend on that. And that was one of the motivations for me in the very beginning to start thinking more about the audience rather than my individual wishes, why I do music and stuff. We do it to be heard by someone, right? I'm sorry for that little enterprise. It just was very interesting to hear. Plus, I think I realized, Daniel, why the sound in your video didn't work. There is a little icon in the left. You can turn off the noise cancellation. So,
perhaps. How about if I send you the link and you can you could play?
Yeah, of course we will do that. We'll just share it. But I just realized that very often when we play music here on this program, the built-in AI considers that to be a noise. Because it's instilled for the voice and some simpler examples of music. So everything in the weird frequencies it considers to be noise, and just
it can be. I think also I'm using a microphone, so I think if I use the.
Anyways, very exciting. Have you combined any or integrated some other genre of art in your Interpuls festival? So it was visuals, it was rave. Anything else?
Yeah,
Crazy?
I mean, dance as in modern ballet dance. We have often had this as a part of together with music, and we've collaborated a few times with this slam poet, which has been also very interesting.
Slam poet. What was that?
Yes, it's basically poetry with almost a musical kind of approach with a lot of rhythm. So it's, to me, it's very musical and it's very rhetorical, relating to this. So it's he's been performing some of his texts together with our music, and this is of course the minimalist music, which is very easygoing. Could be in the background, could work just as well in the background as in the foreground. So that's probably been the most successful interdisciplinary collaboration, in addition to the visual arts.
Exciting.
But it would be wonderful to also include some more. I mean, even your AI art project, Eugene, it looks very interesting. And,
right, I think I can see millions of ways how you can integrate that in the concert, because it has very bright ideas on the back, very kind of up to date. Everything is very critical to the world we live in. If not you, Daniel, I will steal Eugene, for example.
You can do it all three.
I wanted, we are running out of time very soon, and I'm not gonna waste more of your time. I just wanted maybe to ask one question to Eugene. What's your take on classical music in nowadays? Do you feel it has rights to survive? How do you generally feel about it? Do you go to classical music concerts? Do you have
sure.
criticism for us?
Actually, I born and raised in Korea, so I find really interesting how classical concert culture is becoming more approachable for non-specialists like me. So for me in London, I live in London now, so I noticed that I can even drink wine while watching a performance at the Barbican Stadium. But I grew up in Korea there they usually can drink everything during the classic concert. So it is quite weird, but it is very great way to feel comfortable and feel friendly in there. So, and actually, I have one question to Daniel. So, actually, thank you for your sharing. I find a wide range of genre and experimental approach really fascinating. And this is my question. You seem to be making significant effort to popularize the classic music, from the website building to the making some festival experiences. So what is your ultimate goal to do this kind of things?
I don't know if it's a goal, but at least sort of the drive, I think it comes from it can be it has always also been a struggle to see this discussion in the classical musical field with that it's only old people who listen to classical music. It's only gray hairs, and I don't think it's really true anymore. I think it's quite a wide span. And also in our festival, I think the majority is at least under 50. But so I think this has been probably my drive to create something for our generation as well, and it makes it feel a bit more relevant, I guess, in today's world, and more. It gives a greater sense of value to what we do, being able to reach out to to a broader audience, not only the same people who really know everything about classical music, but to actually be able to communicate this, I mean, really wonderful music. So much of it is to a wide audience.
Yeah, to keep this up to date, I guess that
Yeah.
can be a good motivation. It's really great to hear hear you almost repeating word to word the motivation for another festival producer that we had a couple of times before. Maybe you know him, Dragos Kantea. He's living in Oslo, but he's doing a festival in his hometown
Yeah.
Iași in
Yeah.
Romania, I think.
Yeah.
And he was speaking almost exactly the same, that he's seeking to actually his greatest, as far as I remember, greatest drive was that in 50 years there is still somebody on his concerts, because according to him, if the trend continues, they will all die. So he was mostly motivated by bringing young people to his festival concerts. I think it's it's kind of symptomatic.
It's true, but it's also like somebody else said, I don't know who, but I mean, we all get gray hair eventually, so we'll fill up the concert halls with gray hair anyway.
We will, for sure. Yeah. Yes, it was a great question, Eugene. Sort of you stole my last question too, Daniel. Anyways, I really want to thank you guys for coming. I really hope that we will maybe have another chance chat either all together or separately and do some projects together. It's really a great pleasure. Thank you for finding time. And please send me all the links you want me to share, and I will make a post very soon and post it on both NordSync and Facebook, where we try to reach the people interested in art and culture and music and everything else. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so fun. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you. We stay in touch. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.